You were talking about this week you've been having issues with the offset. Do you want to explain what that is to me?
Yeah, sure. So basically there's different stages of production whenever you produce a model. There's the stage where you create the 3D design, see if it fits together, see if it works properly, and then there's the later stage where you have to make sure that everything kind of lines up properly. And so I sent parts and the unit to our co-founder Yuma last week, and one of the bigger things that was within that set of manufacturing was this issue of offset that I've noticed on the CNC machine. You can actually probably hear it in the background now. And basically what it is if you imagine grabbing two sides of a cutting board, just a standard cutting board, and you drill a circle on one side, just like you can see on the screen. You drill just a round circle on one side, then you flip it over perfectly through the center, and you want to drill it on that side, but maybe you moved your right hand up like a couple of millimeters. Even if it's a couple of millimeters off, that CNC isn't going to know that it's a couple millimeters off. So the offset issue is really caused by some misalignment when flipping the device over. And because we've got a semi-complicated part, we can't just do it in one CNC pass straight down. We have to do it on two sides. You just have to make sure that alignment when you slip it over to the other side is as accurate as possible. Otherwise, you end up with a device that has a millimeter sticking out on the side. So you can actually put your hands around the side where the center meets and feel the difference so imagine cutting an orange. Imagine an orange and you cut it straight down the middle and you grab two sides and you put them back together, but you actually move one of your hands a millimeter off. You see how you're going to get that small little section, that doesn't overlap properly. So if we're getting those off the CNC like that, you just have to start the model again, start the machine again, frustratingly enough. But I believed I've fixed it this week. But I've got a test running, and we'll see. We'll see if I can feel happy tonight, or if I have to go back to confused as to what the heck's happening.
Basically, with the outside of the case, with the new material that we've got on, and the case is now completely CNC'd, but it's just the small movement when you flip it over means that it's hard to get it exactly in alignment previously.
So the alignment the alignment was only out by 0.5 millimeter, but 0.5 millimeter is enough that it's so ridiculous. 0.5 millimeter is enough that you can feel it. The feeling really drops around the 0.05 millimeter mark. So if they're out by 0.5 millimeter, you're not going to be able to tell you're not going to be able to tell. So that's been the goal. And this machine has the accuracy, and there's a concept in manufacturing called repeatability.
Yeah.
And it basically means, if you let the machine calibrate itself, is it going to do the exact same holes in the exact same place? From memory, this machine can get down to a repeatability of like 0.001, I think, millimeter, which, you're not going to, there's no chance you're going to notice that difference. So it is purely the question of how well this block has been set up. And I've messed around with it a bit this week. And I've got my test running right now. Fingers crossed that it comes out. If it comes out well, everything is a go. And the only thing left to test will be, I've built up the spindle into the same material, because as you're pulling it out with the 3D printed material, you can feel like the click, 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 click as it passes over sections of the 3D printed material that aren't perfectly flat. This CNC machine is just amazing at getting things perfectly flat. And so but I'm not too worried about any tolerance issues there. It's less aesthetic and more functional. When things become functional, depending on what it is, if it's something fitting into something else, you have to worry about the tolerance. If, let's say, there's a part inside the device that I've cut into or something, or it has some scratch marks on it, you don't have to worry about that because it's inside of the device and it's purely on a functional basis. As long as the kind of structural integrity is still there for the part, then you don't need to worry about any aesthetic. We've definitely been able to get the aesthetic of this part straight off the CNC to be as good as we want it to be. Mm-hmm. It's just this offset issue, which is the seemingly final hurdle to kill or to jump over. So it'll be interesting, and we'll know the results Sunday night or tonight. So if you push this anywhere, if you publish this anywhere, she'll be able to get a photo of the good or the bad. If it's good, I'll pose with it and be like, if it's gone to shit and it's shockers, I don't know, I'll pull a frustrated face.
Bag over your head, a paper bag, and hold a bag of shit.
Yeah, just wear the paper bag. But yeah, as for Christmas, you mentioned that someone wanted to see if we could get units out by Christmas. We'll definitely be able to get these 10 out by Christmas. I feel pretty confident in that. This next weekend, I'll be able to commit a full weekend from Friday night to Sunday night, which is going to be good. I'm going to be able to push a lot further. If this issue is resolved, if the offset issue is resolved, that weekend is just going to be about assembly and serialization. And that just means that getting everything set, so in the following weeks, I can just manufacture on a day-to-day basis without having to wonder if the CNC part, like wonder if the tooltip is going to break or wonder if another issue is going to prop up somewhere. But yeah, it really, really heavily relies on this offset issue being solved.
So you're going to keep us informed of that and show us the results later on?
Yeah, send you a photo with a tear or maybe I'll just cry all over it. Cry all over the machine. The CNC uses my tears as a lubrication. It runs off my tears.
Somewhere there'll be someone that's into that, I'm sure.